Hi, welcome to Healthwatch. I'm Cindy Berry from Ledgelight Health District. 13% of adult residents in New London County have been diagnosed with asthma. Blacks and low-income individuals have rates more than twice that high. Today we're going to be talking with Mary Buckley-Davis, who is the Senior Program Coordinator at Ledgelight Health District, about everything you need to know about asthma. So welcome, Mary.
Thanks for having me.
I always like to start the program by asking people what their role is in the agency that they work for and a little bit about their professional background.
So I went to school at L&M. I am a registered respiratory therapist. I am certified by the Board for Respiratory Care in neonatal and pediatric respiratory care. I came to work at Ledgelight more than 10 years ago already. And basically I do their asthma programs. Over the years I've picked up other certifications, but asthma is really my home.
And I know that you're a certified asthma educator. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and what the training is like that you've had to go through?
So the certified asthma educator training, it's just a building off of what you've learned in your professional career, but you have to take a test. And you pass the test, you get to put the initials AEC after your name.
Okay, and there they are, right?
There they are.
And you coordinate the New London County Asthma Partnership. Let's talk about who are the partners in that coalition, and also what is it that brings them together?
Right, so it is New London County, so we have partners from all over New London County. Mainly they are folks who deal with children with asthma, so school nurses, the VNA who manages many of the school health clinics in Southeastern Connecticut, the hospitals, community health centers. What else do we have? Don't want to forget anyone. Child and Family Agency, who runs the school-based health centers. So we meet quarterly and talk about what's the latest and what's happening.
So mostly for children?
Mostly for children, though, yeah.
And one of the programs that's sponsored by Ledgelight is called Putting on Airs, and I know it's been around for a long time.
It has.
Can you describe the program, why it's so important?
So Putting on Airs gives folks a chance to talk about their asthma one-on-one with a professional and straighten out any misconceptions they have about asthma. It's certainly not all in your head. And misconceptions about how to use your inhalers. I like to use stories from my own life. My 88-year-old aunt this week has the flu, and her doctor gave her an inhaler. Which one is it, Auntie? It's the yellow one. I said, and how often are you using that one, Auntie? Twice a day. I said, Auntie, I want you to read the box. Pretty sure that one's every 4 hours. So I called her back today. So, Auntie, how did it go? You were right, every 4 hours. So, you're getting a lot of information at the doctor's office. It's coming at you fast and furious. And when she went, she had an antibiotic, she had an inhaler, she had prednisone, she had some other thing, I'm not sure what that's all about, and all of these directions, and never mind what it said in the box, you hear what you hear. Right. And people get confused very easily about their medications.
In just preparing for today's program, I talked to our supervisor, Russ Melmed, and he said that though long-term controller medications are available, approximately 1 out of every 6 of those residents with asthma do not have their asthma well controlled. Are you seeing that? It sounds like that's what you're seeing when you go to Putting on Airs visits.
Well, yes, because if their asthma were great, they would never have me. But the thing that people don't understand is what poorly controlled asthma means. So people think that I've only been to the emergency room for my asthma twice in the last year. Well, controlled asthma doesn't ever have you in the emergency room. So how often does your child cough at night? Oh, every night. You're not supposed to cough at all. And you're certainly not supposed to cough at night, and that's the sign we tell them to look for asthma slipping out of good control, is that waking up at night coughing, or not, just in their sleep.
Are you surprised? I mean, do people get kind of used to it so that they really don't recognize it so much anymore?
Yeah, it's just just what it is. I always cough, exactly.
Yeah, interesting. And so when you're doing the education, what are some of the kinds of things that people really need to know?
So Lots of times, they have a provider who they picked or they didn't. I'm sick today, so you see whoever you see. So they either don't really have a relationship with that provider, or they think that that provider just made it up special for them. There are national guidelines for asthma care, and every provider follows them. So your provider didn't just randomly make this up for you. Yeah, he got to choose 7-Up, Stop and Shop, Lemon Lime, or Sprite. But beyond that, this is a class of medication that everyone with persistent asthma should have. And they just get the information wrong, and they don't take it, they don't get it filled. It's tough. So yes, most people don't have their asthma well controlled.
And most of the putting on airs visits that you make, the in-home visits, are made with children, is that correct?
Our grant says that we will have 3/4 of our visits will be for children.
Okay. And I know that in addition to the education component, there's also the environmental review. What is that?
So we look for conditions in your home which may make your child's asthma worse. And we make suggestions. And we don't make the $1 million suggestions. Well, if you knock this wall down, it's not that kind of suggestion. It's like if you keep the cat out of the bedroom. Wash your bed linens every week using hot water to kill dust mites. Try using unscented detergent. So they're relatively easy suggestions.
So it sounds like a little bit goes a long way.
That is exactly it. Small changes make a big difference.
What about environmental tobacco smoke?
Environmental tobacco smoke is always an asthma trigger. But I only smoke outside. Yeah, but your clothes have smoke on them. Your hands have smoke on them. Your hair has smoke in it. And if you think about, you have an infant and you pick that baby up and you put it on your shirt, that baby's face is right in the thick of it. So we encourage all of our families to stop smoking.
And I know a lot of older homes here in New London County may have mold as part of their basements or their walls. How bad is mold in terms of being a trigger for asthma?
So actually I was just looking at a study on this, but so if you have mold, what we try to do is figure out where the water is coming from that's allowing the mold to grow. So some people, especially with really older homes, they don't have a cement or a foundation. They have a stone or a dirt foundation, and it's really hard to keep those basements dry. So the person with asthma, if they stay out of the basement, that helps. If you run a dehumidifier, that helps. Anything that reduces the water in the air. Make sure that your dryer is vented to the outside. Don't let your dryer run to the inside because you could get the heat or you like the moisture. That damp air grows mold. The mold spores are everywhere.
Very good. And we were talking a little bit before we started about weather and being sick. How are those maybe triggers for asthma?
So for some people, cold air is an asthma trigger. They're fine. They go out in the cold air and they start wheezing and coughing. So things you can do are try your rescue inhaler before you go out, or put a scarf or the top of your jacket over your nose and mouth when you're outside. For me, it's not really cold air that gets me going. It's 40-degree damp air that gets me going. But for everybody, it's different.
It sounds like having asthma yourself really helps you to have some compassion and understanding for the people that you're working with.
It absolutely does. But I also know that your asthma can be better. And we don't ask you to do really, really hard things. Just change some behaviors, but behavior change is difficult.
It is. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the number of people that you've seen and how it's helped them.
Great.
Okay, stay with us. We'll be back.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Welcome back to Healthwatch. Today we're talking with Senior Program Coordinator Mary Buckley-Davis from Ledgelight Health District about asthma. We are talking about the Putting on Airs program, and I'm really curious about how many referrals you've had since you started the program. It seems like it's been going on for a while.
It has. So I'm 10 years in, and we've had 350 referrals. Not that many visits, but 350 referrals.
Which really does speak to the importance of getting your asthma under control, and also, I guess, your relationship with physicians in the community so that they are referring their patients.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about the benefits of the program and how successful you've been.
So we've had some amazing successes. So when people come to the program, usually their asthma is far enough out of control that they're missing work, or their kids are missing school, which is causing them to miss work. So we have been able to reduce absences from work and school, but our biggest success is more than a 90% reduction in emergency room visits, and that is huge.
And I understand that asthma still is one of the top conditions that brings somebody to the emergency room.
Absolutely.
Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. So, you know, not being able to breathe, that's always an emergency. And some of these kids, because their airways are so small, they get in trouble quick. So, you know, it seemed like they were okay, and boy, now they are not, and their albuterol's not working. So, no, it doesn't surprise me they wind up in the emergency room.
Wow. The other thing that you listed was waking up less at night. So they're getting a better night's sleep if they're not dealing with their airway.
Absolutely. And I mean, you think about it, if you were even disturbed in your sleep 10 or 15 or 20 times at night, it's hard to shine in the morning.
What towns are covered by the AIRS program? Because I know that it gets tricky sometimes with Ledgelight service area, but then some programs are countywide.
Right. This one is countywide, so depending on how you count the towns and where you think Lebanon lies, 22 cities and towns in southeastern Connecticut. So from Lebanon over to Voluntown, down to the shoreline along the Connecticut River.
And does somebody with asthma who might be watching today, do they have to have a referral by their doctor, or can they just give you a call?
No, they can call our office. We're a pretty small office, so if you call Ledgelight, our number is 860-448-4882 and ask for Mary. You know, we can probably get you in the next week or two.
And how long does it take when you come out?
The first visit takes about 2 hours. The state's got us going out on second and third visits for folks who need it, and those visits are short, less than an hour.
And I know that in the past you've even had some supplies of some kind available. Do you still have those?
We do, actually. Thanks to a grant from L&M, we have more supplies than ever for folks who need you know, bits of equipment. We can't give you prescription drugs, but who need supplies for home. They need mattress covers or pillow covers. We've got an assortment of things that we can give people, you know, who have our visit, who need help.
So I know that the asthma partnership for New London County, I know that they've focused on a lot of different things, and you want people to know that there are some other programs and asthma initiatives out there. One of them is a school-based program. Can you tell me about that?
Okay, there's a school-based program in New London. We work with the Winthrop School and the Jennings School, trying to bring asthma education into the schools separately for the students and their parents, and then all of those families are referred for Putting on Airs program visits if that's what they would like.
And is it just for the kids that have asthma, or is it for the whole classroom?
No, just for the kids who have asthma. It's done as an enrichment program.
Oh, great.
So it is great, and the kids enjoy it. The parents get a lot out of it. It is terrific.
Yeah, it does seem like, you know, maybe the education's not lost on those who do not have asthma, because they might be with a friend at some point who ends up having some kind of an asthma event and have to react to that or help them.
True.
Are you finding that more people in general in the community are becoming more aware of asthma?
Well, I think they are, because it's so prevalent. You know, 25 million Americans have asthma, so it's hard to imagine you would live somewhere where you didn't know people with asthma.
There's another program that's called Breathe Well. It's an education program out of L&M. What is that about?
So L&M has a program once a month. We do it in different time slots. So if you work during the day, maybe you could come to the evening one. Or if you work shifts at the casino, you could come to maybe the one at noontime. So once a month, we run a 2-hour class. It's usually pretty small, so it's a group setting. It's not me standing up there talking to you people about your asthma. It's a small group setting, and we sit and we talk about airway anatomy, how your medicines work, practicing using your inhaler, understanding the prescription, and it's worked out really, really well. L&M provides a translator for that program.
Wow, that's great.
It is great.
And I know that we didn't talk about this with AIRS, so maybe we can talk about both, but the cost of these programs?
Free.
Free, all of them are free?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
And then there's something called Easy Breathing, and I know that you've been working fast and furious to get all of the providers out in the community on board.
That's true. Easy Breathing is an initiative from Connecticut Children's, started in 1999, so it's very well established by Dr. Michelle Cloutier up there. She's a pediatric pulmonologist to help primary care physicians, specifically pediatric physicians, better understand and be able to use the 400-page asthma guidelines.
Wow.
Yes.
And an asthma action plan.
So asthma action plans are best practices. So if you have asthma and you don't have one, the next time you go see your provider, you could say, hey, I heard about these asthma action plans. They're a written plan that tells you which medicines you're supposed to take every day when you're feeling well, which medicines to change or increase when you're sick, you're having asthma symptoms, and then what to do if you're not getting better on that sick plan or you're getting worse.
That sounds like it could be very scary.
Well, it could be, yes.
Yeah. So in wrapping up, I'm really kind of interested about the challenges of your work. What do you find the most challenging?
So with 25 million people with asthma, and some neighborhoods in Southeastern Connecticut have asthma rates as high as 33%. So you'd think I'd have a lot more referrals. So, but I don't. And a lot of the people who are referred don't accept the referral. So we can help make your asthma better, and we can do it for a little more than your time.
Great.
So, if you have asthma and you would like to feel better, I'm confident that we can do that.
So hopefully this program will help bring some awareness
Thank you for
about
that.
And then also, what about the most rewarding parts of your work? Because I'm sure there's lots of those.
So I will tell you, I recently had a client, and he's 12, and his asthma wasn't great. So I went to visit him and his mom at home. He was referred by the school-based health center. And so, he sat through, he asked good questions. We worked on how to use his inhaler and, any problems he was having. Mom had questions about this and that. And during the visit, she said to me, does my doctor know all of this stuff?
Oh.
And I was like, well, yeah. I said, but I've been here for 2 hours and your doctor's got 10 minutes to talk to you about this. Right. And when I went back, his asthma went from very poorly controlled to perfectly controlled, and I could not have been happier for them.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that example.
Thank you.
That's great. And how can people find out more?
So you can go on the Ledgelight website. We have information on our website about asthma, or you can go to reliable websites. So there's an American Asthma and Allergy Foundation website, which is terrific. There's a group called Mothers of Asthmatics, which has great reliable information. The Lung Association has some, but not as much as you would think. So reliable websites.
Yeah, very good. Well, Mary, thank you so much for joining me today and bringing asthma again kind of into focus for us.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
And if you have any questions for Mary, please give her a call at Ledgelight Health District. Have a great day.